Oh yes, this is radio according to you. Mphulaphula ekhaya sekwamkela ke last hour ye-social crossover. Igama lam ke ndisenguLhoza. WamaMfene, Lhoza we-Jam Base, umzukulwana kutamkhulu Machule nomakhulu Nokwezi saba sonke ke until 5 to 9 apho ke ndawudedela Moment of Truth, uLungelo Kanzama. Uzabe ke lapho ke bexesha ke lonqobo. Ikhona ke intombi encinci uyazini Khuse hamba nayo kanti ke xa bephuma uyawungena uAmanda aphiwe Dziba intombi yaseQonce iphathele invasion naye xa phuma ke kungena uSizwe kaSiyokwana kwi-afternoon drive kanti kwakaloku njena bese nditshilo ke ndathi kuni baphulaphuli asinaye ke uMr Ntuli namhlanje ubudlunga kule ndawo bakuyo akukho mbane ngoku inetwork ayisivumeli so kuba sikhange sibe naye ke uMr Nxoyi siyambamba namhlanje kwenze noba siyifumane laa nto siyiphosileyo kwenze ba next Tuesday sifike isyllabus funeke sihambe nayo kakuhle otherwise saba sengxakini i-revision sizosikwazi uyenza sibhale so yes selekhona ke njengoba nibona masimamkele enkqubeni. Morning Mr Nxoyi.
Morning Mamzo, kunjani?
I'm good, I'm blessed. Kunjani kuwe? Nenzani kweli Kapa? Nenzani kweli Kapa? Nintoni le nenzayo?
Ndiva into bona bayenzayo mna just ndiva economy.
Uyazikhupha ndiva bekuthiwa hey imbi because kubhubha abantu kuyo yonke lento so wish ingakho iphele and kujongwe kweli cala because ngoku kunzima noba oonoteksi base-Cape Town babe kanti bazawuthatha indawo because baneebhifu zabo bayabulalana bodwa so bakwazi ukwenza lenziwa liphondo leMpuma Kapa namanye amaphondo bame bathi heyi thina sivumi apha but ke asikhwapho wethu siyamthemba uba ubuzawungenelela nakwimeko yase-Western Cape yokubulalana kwabantu kangaka. Akho mlenze ungenadolo ke bethunane ndiyanyanzeleka ukuba ndibulise xa noko umzala xa engenile molo akafuna uthi sisi ke jonga uthi mamzungu hey bethuna hi Mzi. That's my brother. Well timing kubaleka uthi sisi ixesha iminyaka ingaka ndimshiya ngayo but anyway well lihle usiphathele ntoni well ndiyafuna ke because umzi ungaphantsi kancinci apha okanye almost the same age nawe ndifuna into yobana leya namhlanje into ke siyijonge isizukulwana ngezizukulwana just imagine xa isizukulwana samaMfene sine-properties all over the country all over iAfrika bayaziwa naziya but yonke loo nto la izuvele izenzekele iqala kancinci bulisa abaphulaphuli be-social crossover sizongena nakule namhlanje nkqubo.
Good morning to all the listeners of social crossover. I'm super excited today. Couldn't really get down to the crowd this week because the network I'm super excited to be here today because we're continuing on what we were talking about. We were talking about financial education, financial literacy, and we covered some important traits which I'm just going to go over for the first few minutes with the work of the day, right?
Sure.
So, we spoke about, the government is printing money. Money is being printed every day.
Sure.
And how much money are you printing? Right? How much money are you printing? Now, there's different ways to print money, right?
Okay.
So one of the first ways in which money is printed, it is that money is printed through savings.
Okay.
Right? Then we said, when you are saving money, you are printing. And then we made a bit of a scenario, which then money is also printed by inflation, because the more money that is printed, the more the value of the rand loses value. Right? The value of the rand loses value because money is printed every day. Right? Now, one of the things that people, more often than not, don't understand is that money was meant to circulate Money was
Okay.
meant to flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And more often than not, people went to school, people got their degrees so that they can have a jobs, and then they have one flow,
Mm.
right? Now, this flow is limited because you only get it 12 times out of 365, 366 at most,
Mm-hmm.
365 days. And because it's limited, you must remember this money, you're getting it once a month, but it leaves your pocket every day.
Mm.
The minute you switch on the light, that's money being spent.
Sure.
The minute you wake up and open, the tap or the bath to take a shower or to take a bath, that's money
Imali
being spent.
leyo. Yep.
Yeah. To drink water, that's money being spent.
Mm-hmm.
To keep you going through food, that's money being spent. You start your engine, that's money being spent. You stop a taxi, that's money being spent. So which means, this money is leaving your pocket every single day.
Mm. Mm.
Right? Now, if you will remember, one of the first classes we taught, we said there are three spaces through which people create or, get an income. Three spaces. The first one is the physical space. The
Mm-hmm.
physical space, you have to be physically active in the workplace or at the workplace for you to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So you could say that's where you have a job, your physical space. So you're a
Mm.
school teacher, you need to be physically present at the school
Yeah.
to teach kids for you to get
Yes.
paid every month. You
Mm-hmm.
are a doctor, an employed doctor, you have to be physically there to heal
Mm.
the patients, to help the patients for you to get paid. Nurse, you have to be physically there. And the time that you have to invest in there, more often than not, is about 10 to 12 hours per day,
Mm.
right? Of you, maybe 5 days a week. Apparently, that people who work 6 days of late. I don't know how accurate that is, but yeah. So now, you've got this time that you are working and you're putting in physical effort to get to
Mm.
first floor, right? I usually
Mm.
say the physical space is the entry level into
Okay.
money,
Okay.
right? It's the entry level into money because you must remember that you're not going to always have the energy to work 12 hours a day
Okay.
for 40 years,
Mm.
right? So this is where you start doing. For me, I usually say when you are young, spend most of your time, working, on a job or, serving a business owner in
Mm.
the space that you want to be, right?
Mm.
More like an apprentice, right? Learning
Yeah.
skills, work the kind of job where you can learn skills that are in line with what you want to achieve in life,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then, more often than not, the school system teaches us something different, right? People go to school to make money so that they
Yeah.
can earn a living, right? Now, it's 24 hours that you and I have in a day,
Sure.
right? And this is the most important principle we need to understand about money and life. We get paid in direct proportion to how we engage our minds and how we engage our time productively. How we
Mm.
engage our mind, how we engage our time productively,
Mm.
right? So he who earns 10,000 rand a month earns 10,000 rand a month because they have skill sets to earn 10,000 rand a month, right? Now, the next level for you to earn more money has to be your mind space level, the
Sure.
mind space level. In the mind space level, you are able to then, you are in Cape Town, but you're conducting a meeting over a Zoom meeting or
Mm.
conducting a meeting over, say, Google Meets. There's, I think, Microsoft Teams. There's a couple or even a phone call, right?
Mm.
Um, Mindspace, for example, could be you being in Cape Town, you have a property in Victoria, and so forth, and you are told about what's happening there, and you solve the problems over a phone call, a 30-minute phone call or 15-minute
Mm.
phone call, and you move on to the next thing. And the people
Mm.
whom you are delegating to in
Sure.
Victoria, Johannesburg, they're going through the
And
physical groundwork.
mm,
Right? So someone will call this space the commandment space, right? But I usually like sticking to the mind space because here you think and solve, and engage, in solving these problems with your mind without having to fit physically there, right? So that's mind level. Now, mind level
mm,
also is the level in which you manage. You can call it the management level, right? So again, here you earn slightly more than your average employer or average employee, and mind level is where your most of the millionaires they're at mind level,
okay.
right?
So if
Most
I
of
go if mentally in your mind space awukho ready, awuzukwazi uya kwi-next level, because the first step, as you have explained, ithatha ithatha amandla. Laa nto kuthiwa hayi ii-labourers ithatha amandla, ubhatalwe for uba usebenzisa amandla, ucinga uthini, someone else nguye ocingayo enze loo nto, wenze lo msebenzi, and that's it. But the next level, ukwazi ukwenza more money, you need to use your mind, but i-mindset yakho has to be ready and be in a space esithile, or otherwise you'll be stuck up, ungakwazi uya kwi-next level. So
Yeah.
meaning ingqondo la funeka uzixelele apho ukuba jonga ndikuyo le nto and ndiyayenza.
Yeah. The reason why you must remember that physical space is limited.
Okay.
Physical space, you have to drive to the workplace. 30 minutes, maybe, whatever the minutes are, an hour perhaps, maybe you're taking a taxi, that's time gone.
Sure.
When you get there, you're working, your clock up, your sevenza, you've got 1 hour lunch, you work maybe 8 up until 5 in the afternoon. Right? By the time you get home, you're jaded, you're tired, right? And because you are physically drained, you are in the physical space, right? And this is the problem with working in the physical space. It is because you are working in a space where everything has been already created. So basically, you are just following, what's happening in the world. You are not part of the creation. Someone else does the thinking for you. Now, you need to pay attention to this. We once said that wealth is first spiritual before it is first spiritual, mental before it is physical.
Sure.
Right. So low sebenza in the physical is living in the results of the man or the woman who thought about the whole system spiritually, mentally, and then it came into play. So you're playing in the least paying space, right? Because you're following what's already there. Well, nothing wrong with that. Most important thing is that you have to do what you love and be happy with what you're doing. Even though I'm not a big believer with being satisfied with earning the same income. That's just my opinion, right? Anyways, so that's just one of them. And then now, then you move to the next level, right? The next level is your spiritual space. Spiritual space. Spiritual space is your invention type of space. This is where your billionaires more often than not are made. These are the guys who thought of Dell laptops. These are the guys who thought of iPhones. These are the guys who thought of Samsung. These are the guys who thought of TikTok. These are the guys who thought of Facebook. These are the guys who thought of StreamYard. These are the guys who conceived something that was not.
Sure.
Right? And brought it into the world and served it to billions of. Keyword, served it to billions of.
Okay.
Right. At Mindspace, you can serve a lot of people, maybe billions of people, right? But when you are bringing something that has not been there in the world, a unique taste or idea that has not been there in the world, and you serve it to the world.
Sure.
Right. That's how billionaires are made, right? So again, you can become a billionaire through Mindspace, but being a billionaire through Mindspace, yes, you can become a billionaire through Mindspace, right? Because all you need to do is to plug your mind again. Remember, the mind thing comes into there again. You plug your mind into the mental frequency of billionaires, and then, just as we said, plugging yourself. Your mind is like your mind is like an energy. It's like energy. It's like a radio. Maybe people will understand this better. Your mind is like a radio. Well, Keith Ngesi radio is online, so you cannot really make an example. So let's make an example about, let's say, the radio, etile, you need to watch, let's say you need to watch Generational Wealth Creation Radio, right? For example. And if frequency is 1,000, right? For you to listen to what's happening at the Generational Wealth Creation radio station, you need to tune into frequency 1,000. Right? You can tune into any other frequency, but as long as you have not tuned into this one, you will not be a beneficiary of what's happening in this radio. Right? So the same principle applies to becoming a billionaire, to becoming a multimillionaire. It is that your mind can think, right? It can operate or think in different types of frequencies. But as long as your mind is not tuned in to the frequency of millions, tuned in to the frequency of billions, you are out. Right? Because where the mind goes, the man follows.
Yep.
Where the mind goes, the man follows. Right? So now let's go back to where we were now. So financial literacy in German means kindergarten. Kindergarten. You could say kindergarten, but I prefer saying kindergarten. Yeah, it makes sense, consider kindergarten. So the word kindergarten means a garden of children.
Okay.
A garden of children. Now, when we talk about money, when you speak about a garden of children, which means, the whole aim of being financially literate. Let me put it that. The whole aim of being financially literate or of being financially conscious or wealth conscious is so that you can have your money produce children of its kind. Children of its kind. Now, a very important word is going to come into play as we try to explain this and make it as simple as possible. So, back in the days, we spoke about gold. Last week we were speaking about gold. So let's make an example. If we had 10,000 rands worth of gold back in the days, you could go to the bank and say, listen, I need you guys to issue me banknotes worth 10,000 rand. I'm going to keep my gold, physical gold, with you guys, and for you guys to give me, what back then they would call it CDs, right? Cash deposits. Right? Or certificate of deposit, CODs, right? Today, it's more commonly known as banknotes, right? Now, keyword, these banknotes are printed from nothing. Fake money. Fake money. Now, we're going to explain the difference between fake money and real money. The reason why these banknotes are we call them fake money, it is because they are printed from nothing, right? In this case, back in the days, this money used to be printed in direct proportion to the amount of gold the banks held in the bank.
Anyway.
Right? Now, you would then be given 10,000 banknotes. Now, because people were not educated about financial literacy, using these banknotes to make money of its own kind, for them to produce children of their own kind, right? So, as this money was being loaned to this individual, right? It was a loan against real money. which is
Okay.
gold.
Okay.
Look at this. It was a bet against real money, which
Okay.
is real gold.
Mm-hmm.
And you were being given fake money, cash deposits, banknotes, for you to trade outside there because they were easier to carry than the gold. Right? Now, people went out and about, and because they were not educated on money, that they are supposed to use this money, 10,000 rand, to make another 1,000, another 10, right? And pay the bank back and continue. But they did because people were not aware of that. The flow of the money went back to the banks. Right? Now, when people couldn't pay back 10,000 rand, the bank would then confiscate gold.
Sure.
Now, there's a law that is, yes.
Ndimamele uba inde isuka kude ifuna nyhani because we call this a class. Ukhona umphulaphula athi iiklasi ziqalile ubudluziko athi ajonga iklasi funeka sizi-understand ezinto, but in the interest of time we have to wrap up now and we'll continue next week Tuesday. Ulihle bethu nani uba lapha ngee-Tuesdays just that ke kuba uMr Ntuli engakwazi uba sibe naye namhlanje. I know abantu bakhangela uMr Ntuli. Mr Ntuli phaa ku-relationship Friday asinaye namhlanje ngenxa into yobana akanambane, inetwork ayikho ke ngoku, and kuba ke nolihle ngezaa zizathu zinye ke network, and besides inkqubo Tuesday we had to, because ilizwe nje so kwakho uhlengahlengiso phaya, yiloo nto simbambe namhlanje. Otherwise usuku lwakhe ngolwesibini. I want us to wrap quickly sithethe ngeento ezininzi, and mhlawumbi a quick recap on physical space, mind space and spiritual space apho ke kukho izikumkani ezenza imali, and umntu ngokuthi ndifuna ukucreata i-wealth ngalo mzuzu ndoyisiwe ndidikiwe yindlala angaqala phi msinyane nje?
Okay, number one, it always goes back to developing yourself, developing your skills, developing your mindset. And the reason why it is like that, it is because, remember what it said, wealth must first be spiritual, mental, before it is physical, before it is generational. It starts with your mind. A simple example of this is when you decide to want to be a doctor, right? There are systems in place that can help you get there, right? Go to school, which means you're investing where? In your mind.
Sure.
Right? After you're done finishing your grade 12, Umite is done at Sakona, you go to varsity, you spend 5 to 7 years being conditioned mentally. And when they feel that you are ready because of the conditioning that's been done to you, you are then a doctor. The same principle applies with business, that for whatever business you want to do, it is important for you to mentally equip yourself. Right. Remember what I said, every business that closes down, every business that does not improve, will always be, will always have a short destiny of closing down. Why? Because the owner is not investing in himself. The owner is not investing in himself. Right. For me, I have a personal, culture that I have, that whenever my skills that I have now, whenever my business skills don't work in this economy, right, I hire myself a new coach, because that means it's time for me to change levels. But then you find people who, whenever their skills don't serve them, they remain the same, trying the same things, doing the same things. And because they're doing the same things, trying the same stuff, your life does not stay the same. You think it stays the same. No, it does not. Right? So you either growing or you're dying in life, either growing or you're shrinking. Right? So if you are not expanding your mental territory, you are slowly deteriorating.
Slowly deteriorating. Uzawube ngoku udeteriorate every day, awukwazi nobala. Kuba ngoku usuka stage sobana ukade ukwazi ubala, umazi 1 + 1 is 2, funeka ngoku uyomcofa, because awukho nto, awuyondli ingqondo. So we must feed our minds, we must feed ngale nto izawukwazi ngezinto ezipositive kuyo yonke into, feed it kangangokuba ingabi naso nespace ngoko. Well, I think again in the interest of time, unfortunately we have to end it here today, and then again Tuesday morning 8:10 you will have Lihle up again on Keith Ngesi Radio. We're doing radio again according to you. Please don't forget to like Facebook page Keith Ngesi Radio so that you can get the notification immediately when we go live. Thank you, Lihle. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord enlarge your tents. Well, I think I must mention that Lihle is only 24, guys. He's only 24. And allow me, he's a dropout year metric. Drop out year grade 12, right? Why if we are grade 10, what I'm both drop out, and we're not condoning abantu ke ba drop out. Please ungena timing, because into ebalulekile into yobana when you drop out uzakwenzani. So you drop out ke yakwa grade 12 ngolo hlobo. He's only 24 and he owns 13 properties so far. And behind him, if you can see behind him, that's where he is going. He's heading there. You can see the cars and everything behind him. That's his, vision board. So in a vision wall, when your vision is big, you don't even, or when you dream big, you don't even have a board. You have a wall. So you don't drop out without a proper strategy, without a solid plan, otherwise, I'm sure you will have never allowed him to drop out without a timing. So what I'm trying to say, I want to encourage you at home to say it is doable only if you feed your mind. You feed your mind. You and yes, man, and yes, but do something, make sure that you learn, get the skill, go out there, do not sleep. #1 million, just one. J. Well, guys, thank you so much. Babulela, Babuza ke Usankia Cremford Featherstone Uyabuza. I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. If not, my apologies. So thank you, Lihle. If you have a book, what is the title? Do you have a book?
Sure, I don't have a book.
Not yet.
I'll maybe write one next year, but I usually write essays on my Facebook page, Lihle King Boy. We're still working on doing blogs on my website and so forth. So yeah, you can get me on my website. I write a lot of statuses on my Facebook with regards to property and do a lot of videos.
And your website again?
It's lihlekinggoy.com.
lihlekinggoy.com.
Yeah. Mawugugula nje uzabona ngoqala uvela.
Outside. Thank you, Lihle. Hamba Lihle Tisa. Abantu abazwa Google. Thank you so much. And Shepherd is suggesting that we have you twice a week. I'll speak to my programs manager and see if we can have if you can't have these the 2 lessons per week from you. And yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Drop out with a solid plan. Yes. With a solid plan. By the timing. Thank you, Lihle. We'll see you next week, Tuesday. All right, let's pay the bills. Thank you so much. Let's do this.
Vodacom brings you the Be Your Own Boss competition. We are encouraging the youth of the Eastern Cape to get up and to get going. Tell us what you need to back up with, and we'll make your boss moves a reality. Now here's how to enter. Share your plan to success on your Facebook page and tag Keeping It Radio and the hashtag Vodacom backs you up. Remember to get your friends to vote for your story, and a minimum of 50 likes stands a chance to become a weekly winner. As weekly winners to be entered into the draw to win the ultimate prize of 10,000 rands in cash. You need to be a registered Next Level member to participate in the competition. To register on your Next Level, dial *128# on your Vodacom SIM card. Further together, Vodacom.
Further together, Vodacom. Together, my loving, Vodacom nangalemini ya namhlanje. And it is a Friday. Let's see, Vodacom batini now. Vodacom bati, be your own boss, will back you up. Vodaland, powered by Vodacom, funds anything your business needs. Whether you need to fund moving into a bigger office, buy equipment or property, or just get the cash flow you need to act quickly, Vodaland can make it happen. Apply now and get the cash you need within 24 hours. Go to www.vodacombusiness.co.za and make your boss moves a reality with Vodacom Business and Vodaland. Everyone connected, Vodacom. All right, it's 8:41 Central African time. This is Kid Ngesi Radio. We're doing radio according to you, and an online radio station in Palapambile, South Africa. But for now, let's hear a moment of truth. Is Patelendo now, because at 9 o'clock I have to make a way for this guy here. Look at him. Isn't he lovely? Okay. Woman, sanitize. Moment of truth. What can we expect from
today? We have another update from the Independent Electoral Commission, the IEC Namhlanje, talking to us about the guidelines regarding voter registration, the dates of voter registration. Remember, again, they are delaying the registration weekend, and coping a date at the time.
Sure.
So we are just waiting for that information. Namhlanje, we find out from Mrs. Koliswa Bana exactly what is happening with that. Through the fire. What were the longest 5 minutes you've ever experienced in your life? And again, we are joined by our weekend warrior, Tsepi Sonzayo, as well as the spokesperson, Eastern Cape Department of Health, Sizwe Kupelo, who will be speaking with us about the spread of COVID-19 in these super spreader events and how to curb the spreading of this thing, wave, and also with this new Delta variant, which seems to spread so much faster and so much more deadlier around the nation. So those are the things that we are going to be paying attention to. It's a Friday though, so we still have to have it light. Yes, man. Until then.
We see a go,
Guys,
yeah. So we see that's moment of truth.
Absolutely.
Between 9 and 12. I puma yena pango 12 uzongena uaphiwe Amanda ziba yena izabe ke esenza invasion naye ke qaphuma adede labanye uzabe ngena ke usizo kasiyokwana esenza Kena drive, and then mna ngoku ndizawulungiselela uhamba, but andisukwazi uhamba ndikanika ke birthdays strong bakubana nabazalwayo ngoku ngalomzuzu, and also just to check few newspapers, the headlines, and sijonga zipine eziphala phambili ngalena iure. Mixed feelings as more soldiers hit the streets, so siklonto ke eMzantsi Afrika, but ke we trust the Lord that uzakwazi uintervene kule meko ne ibe ibuyele, because imeko emaxongo ngolona hlobo, right? Mixed feelings ke as more soldiers hit the street. Total of 12,500 soldiers are already in the streets of the hotspots of the recent civil unrest and rampant looting of shopping streets. Abantu bayazenzela, abantu bayaziqhwithela, abantu bayazidaphulela, abantu abantu bayananazela. Nokucinga ke criminal record ungakhange nje ube kanti uzibone sowuthe zuwapha une criminal record, into embi yasemhlabeni. Ndibasendishilo ke lo majoni ayi-12.5 afakiwe. The army deployment is part of a huge plan that will result in as many as 25,000 members by South African National Defence Force hitting the streets as part of Operation Prosper in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. The operation will include the search for stolen property. The soldiers have already taken up positions in Alexandra and Phosphorus townships and around e-shopping malls. There were mixed views from locals in Alexandra about the deployment of additional soldiers in an effort to quell the ongoing violent looting spree. On Thursday, the soldiers were seen patrolling the streets of Alexandra, particularly about the Pan-African Shopping Center and Alexandra Plaza, where many stores were looted in the past few days. They were also stationed at the Alex Mall, while other vehicles ventured deeper into the township on patrol. Orifilwe Peter Semna 37, a community leader in Alexandra, was unhappy with the deployment of soldiers. Utike, I quote, "This is something we are not used to." This is really not a comfortable feeling at all. However, I understand why they are here. As long as you understand, however, business person Lebogang, the Sector 37, welcome the soldiers' presence. This is a good thing that they came here. We managed to get order and started cleaning up from 10 a.m. this morning. The Defense Ministry said that it had already deployed 10,000 additional soldiers in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal in the past 2 days to assist the police in their efforts to restore peace and order. The mandate involve to recover some of the goods that had been stolen by the looters. Yo, kuzaba kubi masijonge kweli cala zeziphi na ezinye that Sowetan live South Africa urekhode more than 16,000 abantu. Bethunani akusenzima abantu abane-COVID ngapha sijongene ne-COVID-19 ngapha sijongene nenye nje into esingakhange sibe kanti siyijongile. Ndihlekiswe ke ngomnye uShoprite andimazi uba ngowaphi na se-KZN. Abantu bakwaShoprite bathathe i-fish oil bazichitha apha phandle, so as i-looters zingena, i-floor was slippery. A shopping center decided to stop looters in their tracks by oiling the floor with what appears to be cooking oil. Bawile abantu, baslip, batyibilikile abantu apho. So decided, it's a brilliant idea ke, Facebook users ke bayaqhwaba izandla ayijonga kusetyenziwe. So abantu are coming up with amacebo okunqanda lento. Kubi eMzantsi Afrika. Ayifuni nje ukuba sibe kanti, funeka sibe kanti sizawuthandaza. Look, abantu abaswelekileyo bendigqibele bepha 117 ngenxa yalento, abantu banyathelana njalo ababanjwe 2,200 so far, and lo manani azawunyuka because abantu basabanjwa 2,200 abantu ngahaya bacinge nje baza cost state because kuzawuba nzima man, kuzawuba nzima uzibone nje une criminal record overnight. 8:47 kwi-social crossover. Let's pay the bills esikhawuleze siye phaa kwi-birthdays ndizokwazi ke nam ukuhamba apha ngale mini namhlanje. Ndiyabulela ke ngokuba nisahleli nam nisathe chu ncembe. Masiye ke kwi-birthdays after le.
The four pillars of KNR are motivation, entertainment, spirituality, and current affairs. Armed with these, we are dedicated to the fight against moral decay. We stand for the restoration of human dignity and a socially conscious community. That is why this July, we encourage every one of you to do better, treat better, and be better for the sake of our society. Be part of the positive shift. Join us in instituting moral regeneration for good. KNR, moral regeneration, according to you.
Masijonge abazalwayo ke mphulaphuli. Siyabulela kakhulu usisibalisa Olifant uthi happy birthday Mabhayi nosisi Hazel Siyaya. Happy birthday Mabhayi nosisi Hazel Siyaya. Umama kawunathi Siyaya ulonwabele usuku lwakho. Phakama kulo bhedi Makhethe, uThixo akufihle ukhule ungakhokhobi, uyathandwa ke nguManhlane. Masijonge kwicala ngoba nabanye abazalwayo ndizohamba kwicala ke lika-Facebook uba sifumana bani nabazalwayo. Mandlakazi Sikhuza uyazalwa namhlanje. Happy birthday Mandlakazi, ukhule ungakhokhobi. All right, yes ndijonge kweli cala losaziwayo and ngoba nosaziwayo abazalwayo ngale mina namhlanje imini ke 16th. Siqale ngapho Sean Pollock esimaziyo uyazalwa namhlanje. uSean Pollock esimaziyo rugby cricketini wazalwa ngo-1973 cricketer lapha eMzantsi Afrika. uSean Pollock hayi Polly wakhe ungcaptain kanene. Kwakhe kwamnandi kanene eMzantsi Afrika. Jonga hayi lento sikuyo kwakhe kamnandi sakhe sawufumana umdlalo weqakamba. Jenny Russell, Johannesburg, British journalist. Henrico Brainkies, 1993, South African athletics competitor. PJ Powers, yazola namhlanje bethunani ngo-1960 walibona ke ilanga. Ulwile ke siyamazi naye ulwile uNtombo ngomculo kwecala ke lengcinezelo lo la exesha edlulileyo xesha le-apartheid wasibonakalisa kakhulu. Kumntu wonke bethuna nozalwayo masivaleni kule ndawo masijonge ngapha masijonge ngawo pho. Hi Butsakhiwo, Thabo Tibos ndihappy birthday kuzoleka mna ndisekapa. Ewe sana ngubani uzoleka kaloku ngaske iphelele ibe nalanto ndiyazi uba nguzoleka ngizuzoleka kuqoboqobo kanye wakuqumbu kanye wase-Alwan North eAndvan okanye ngwasePhilippi ngowaphi lo zoleka. Happy birthday ke kuzoleka ndiyadlala sumcacisa xa ufile uba sumcacisa. Enkosi Tibos, happy birthday kuZoe. Okhule ke ungakhokhobi ke wena Zoleka. Ndiyahamba ke ngobaphulaphuli ne bendiniphile ke ingoma ngoba ke siyayazi uba utata uThephotholo akasekho, so ndanipha ke ingoma apho uculile nabantu abaninzi. Wena Casper Nyovest bendiniphile laa ngoma ithi Superman, ukhona kuyo. Maduba ukhona, sithi Tretsa Thanga, ndakhupha nakule kaJubJub ikikhupha Tswarelo. So noko so sawuvala ngaye ke ngoku ndithi kwiinto zonke Thixo makasincede kusalungile ke ngoku kulungile mna nawe sawudibana ke next week Monday, and please ngolwesine ndizaba nazo ii-teenagers khe sive into yobana zona zisiphathela ntoni na, zithi masithini na singabazali, right? ngolwesine. Ngolwesihlanu please email ikhona, email address yam ethi fihlamamfene@gmail.com. amabali esakhe siwave kuni. Lani qala wathumela ko-admin ethi fihla admin, sicela uwava apha ke siwajonge fihlamamfene@gmail.com. and ufihla Lhoza izabe ikhona ke kumnandi kunje. Baba yini Tsepothola, kulungile ndiyanithanda nikhuseleke nibe nempelaveki emnandi. I-COVID-19 isekhona, sinqandane no to looting. Sithandazele ke i-country yethu kubi. Yeah, baba yini.